Firearm Freedom YouTube live stream. What is going on, guys? I hope everybody is doing well. As always, let me know how the audio is doing, lighting, how everything looks. All that stuff is always helpful. Just make sure that everything is coming through. I'm going to let a few people come in here, and I don't know, man, I think this might be probably the first relatively positive live stream I've done in quite some time, which is always nice. Nice change of pace. Today's live stream is going to be about, is there light at the end of the tunnel? Is there light at the end of the tunnel? That is pretty important. Big question to ask nowadays. I'm going to give you my thoughts. A lot of people have been talking about this stuff on YouTube, and we'll go into this in a little bit. As far as for changes with the channel, I always give you guys, if you're watching this after the fact, a little bit of an update on the channel while everybody is getting in. I am going through with the plan of axing out the Instagram live streams. So for right now, there's no longer going to be Instagram live streams, and instead, as we mentioned earlier in last week's live stream here on YouTube, I am going to be transitioning that content over to a podcast format. I'm really excited for that. I have never done a podcast in my life, but I think that content would grow a lot better there. On top of that, podcasts seem to be the one spot that has not been hit quite as hard in regards to gun content. It's still fairly easy to grow and monetize podcasts, so that's a pretty big deal. Very excited, going to be moving forward with that hopefully within this week, and if all goes well, I'm going to get a few episodes scheduled, and you guys are going to be seeing that maybe within a week to possibly 2 weeks. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be pretty exciting. Totally new platform. I think podcasts are pretty cool because throughout everyone's day-to-day, they might not have, at least in my experience, their phone up to like watch a video or watch Instagram or try to catch something live, but maybe you're able to have headphones in, maybe you work at a job that you're doing a task but you can listen to music or whatever. I feel like it's a lot easier to listen to a podcast than it is to actually watch a video or something like that. So I'm hoping you guys are going to like it, and it should be a fairly interesting podcast because what I'm planning on doing is just breaking into all topics on the podcast. So it's going to get a little bit spicy, going to get a little bit crazy, and we're going to be dipping into it all on the podcast, which should be pretty cool. Pretty excited about that. So stay tuned. I will try to keep you guys updated on all social media platforms, whether it's here on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or whatever. And yeah, I'm hoping that is going to go well. Welcome and hello, guys. Good to see everyone. Good to see everyone. Yeah, so if you are looking to support the channel in other ways, you can check the links down in the description below after this live stream or on previous videos. The links are all going to be down there. Man, I don't know what the hell I was even trying to say there. It's been a hell of a long day. It will direct you to other ways that you can support the channel, whether that's on other social media pages or other ways to support the channel with donation, with t-shirts, merch, subscribe star, different things like that. Had a range day this morning. Range day shooting went well. Unfortunately, some of the stuff we were testing did not go well. So the SB Tactical Brace that I was taking a look at, very excited about that. I'm not going to go into it really at all here because I'm going to go into this completely in the video, but it is going to be a rather negative video about the brace. I'm hoping SB Tactical can see that and hopefully make some adjustments to their product because it does seem like, and we're going to dive into this pretty deep, it seems like some R&D was missed on this brace. So I'm hoping they see it, they fix it, whatever. I get products like that right now being kind of rushed out of potentially things happening in the next few weeks in regards to braces. So we'll talk about that a little bit as well in the video and my thoughts on it. And we'll also touch on that here in the live stream. But I think we're about 5 minutes in. We got a good amount of people watching already, so we'll start breaking into the topics here. Good evening, Neil. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. So yeah, guys, is there light at the end of the tunnel? That is going to be this topic of this live stream. And why am I saying that? Why am I saying, is there light at the end of the tunnel? Has something changed? You guys always ask me, is there more stuff coming back in stock? What's going on? And I always hold off. And I think there's a pretty large issue of other YouTubers who are pulling from information, from other areas that are in gun shops, but they themselves don't actually work there. So prime example of this, somebody that's a YouTuber will reach out to a buddy or a distributor or something and try to get a bead on exactly what's going on. And then they kind of rush their conclusions, make a YouTube video, things are getting worse, things are getting better, but they don't really know, or else they're pulling from articles or whatever. I try to always pull from my own experience in the gun shop that I work at. Now, to be fair, that gun shop is a sample size of one, but working in a gun shop, you pull a lot of different things from different areas of surrounding gun shops, customers coming in from those surrounding gun shops, the overall feel of customers on the front lines, people coming in, and you can kind of get a really good idea of what is going on and if things are changing. So I generally will always only pull from that. I don't really even watch other YouTube videos saying, is the ammo shortage better or whatever, because most of the time it is completely not based information from who knows what source, and a lot of the times it's not accurate. What have I been seeing over the past month? That's about what has been going on, and I would say that is about the time that I've been noticing a slight change. The slight change has actually been for the positive. In the gun shop that I work at, guns have definitely stayed a lot longer, to the point that we are now adjusting ordering, adjusting, not ordering quite as much. Before it was no question, we're going to order whatever is available, no matter what, we need it, it's going to go. And there's definitely been a change in that over the past month, and that's really a pretty good thing. So with that, there is a lot of positives to be seen with a gun shop that has guns in it already and is not as short as it once was. The other thing that I've been noticing is that the guns that we do get in, again, are staying for longer. That's a big deal. Before, we would get in a more sought-after concealable handgun like the Springfield Hellcat, the SIG 365, Smith & Wesson variations, Ruger variations. We would get in these pistols that before we could not keep in the shop for an hour. They would go immediately. But with that being said, now I could have a SIG 365 in the case for multiple days, maybe even a week, and it's one of those things that's not quite moving as good, and that's actually kind of a nice change of pace. The other thing that is definitely a lot different is ammo. Ammo is different, not in the fact that it is more available to us. Ammo has still been very, very tough. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and say, oh yeah, ammo is great and it's coming back. That's not the case. But what I have seen a change in is the want, right, for the ammo. We generally, at the gun shop that I work at, and it's going to be different at every shop, we will reserve some ammunition in the back for people buying a gun, really mainly for people buying their first gun, so that way we can say, hey, here's a box of target ammunition to go practice, here's a box of self-defense ammo, and hopefully, that is enough to at least get you started, get your little collection of ammo growing. And I've been seeing more and more before, even if somebody was picking up a gun and, they already owned a bunch of guns, they already had ammo, it was no question. We would say, do you want ammo with your purchase? Yes, absolutely, no matter what. I don't think over the past year I have ever heard a no to that question, regardless of price point. What's starting to happen now over the past month is a little bit of a change. Now I'm hearing things like, I'm okay. I have a good amount of ammo at home. I'm all right. I'm okay. No, I don't want any. I mean, that's what's happening a lot more frequently. And again, that is a very good sign. Whenever people are coming in and they are seeing ammo on the shelf, but they are looking at it like, nope, I got what I need. I don't need any today. That is an incredibly big sign. You guys have been hearing me say a lot on these live streams, the ammunition problem will be a problem as long as people are buying it in the way that they are buying it, and demand is still through the roof. The more that decreases, the more that people walk in and they see some 9mm on the shelf and they don't want it, the better things will get. Now, as far as special ordering guns, that's still incredibly difficult. Distribution is still incredibly low. I have been seeing overall prices on certain AK variants actually start to drop on places like Gunbroker pretty significantly. I started seeing like standard Dracos dropping almost $400 or $500. Now, keep in mind those guns were at astronomical prices on Gunbroker, but the prices are coming down over this past month, and that's all good. The one point that I want to make, though, about the light at the end of the tunnel, I would not take a massive sigh of relief yet, me personally. There's a lot of things that can go down over the next few years that could cause that to be an issue. So if you guys were waiting to get something, you were a little bit low on a certain item, I would imagine over the next month to probably 2 months are going to be the best little lull in order to get the items that you need. And make sure you're just slowly but surely stocking up more on any ammunition you might need, stocking up more on any magazines you might need reasonably, and not being that person that's going to hoard up any large quantities of ammunition that are coming back on the shelves. It's important to understand that this industry is so fragile, because a lot of people are looking at this, and this is where we run into a problem, is because a lot of the panic buyers, whenever there is not a sense of panic, whenever there is not a city burning and they feel like their lives are at risk immediately, so they need to run out and buy a gun, they take this step back. And the people that were really starting to think like, man, maybe it's time that I get a gun, learn how to use it, the world's going crazy, those people tend to have a really bad habit of not surfacing, of not going out and about until another panic, another crazy buying situation starts to happen. So my advice would be, if you yourself are watching this right now and you are that person, or if you know anybody else that is that person and is now again taking that seat back and is like, I don't really feel the need to buy anything anymore because nobody's panicking, I would actually tell you that now is the time to go into a gun shop, buy what you want reasonably, don't panic buy, just buy what you want. Try to find a box or two, train with it, low-key get into the industry, not off panic, because inevitably we will go into a panic buying situation more than likely sooner rather than later, and you will be the ones that are the first ones at the door, lined up, ready to go to just mow down the retail staff of the United States in the firearms world with crazy buying that a lot of shops just can't handle anymore. So I think that's really important to know. We may see, and this is getting into a little bit with the whole brace debacle here in the next few weeks, if that, we may see a change. We may not. I can tell you that as far as industry change on the front lines in gun shops, I have not seen any change in buying with the proposed ruling that the ATF put out, that the comment period is live with right now. So if you have not commented yet, you can still comment on that, of frames. I'm not even going to say 80% frames, because it's so arbitrary and ridiculous that it's far more than just 80% frames that they're talking about. But that really didn't increase any sort of buying at all. In fact, it's been even slower since they put stuff like that out. The reality of it is the massive portion of the firearms world unfortunately has no care about that at all, and that does not immediately pose a threat to them that makes them want to run out and buy something. That is bad in the way that they don't really care enough to do things like write a comment, to do things like care if anything happens with that. I mean, it just doesn't, they don't feel that it bothers them at all. Most of them are not going to have any idea even remotely what it is even about, what it even has to do with. So all of those things are something to keep in mind. But the plus side of that is that even with this stuff going on, it does not spark another panic buying situation, which is a positive. The brace thing, depending on what comes out in the next few weeks, it might do nothing, it might do everything, it might do something a little bit in the middle. Who knows? With how arbitrary the frame proposed new ruling was, I can only imagine how arbitrary the ruling is going to be with braces. And not so much braces. I think a lot of people get this confused. A lot of people think that what the proposed ruling is going to be is about braces, just braces, pistol braces alone. And that is absolutely not what the ruling is even proposed to be. The ruling is really mainly going around large frame pistols, right? Large frame pistols, like your AR pistol, your AK pistol, any PCCs, anything like that. That is what this is surrounding, not so much just the brace. Now, will braces be thrown in the mix of all that? Yes, absolutely. But will they outright ban a specific brace? Probably not. More than likely, what is going to happen from this is even more arbitrary features that all added together create an illegal NFA item. Is more than likely what they're going to go at with this. I've seen a lot of people come into the gun shop and they say, hey, when are they banning braces? Or are braces banned yet? Or do you think braces are going to get banned? People need to realize that this ruling is not just, it's not just braces. It is all the features added into this pistol. It could be things like flip-up rifle sights. It could be things like overall weight. It could be things like caliber. It could be things like holding the gun with two hands. There are all of these features that could play a role into this new determination. Braces are one of those many features. So who knows what's going to happen from that? Will that spark another panic? I truly don't know. I can tell you that when the last situation came up with braces that was ultimately withdrawn, only to be proposed, in the next few weeks here, when that situation started to happen, there was no increased buying at all. And here's the reality of it, guys. Again, most of the average everyday person in the gun community has absolutely no idea what is the deal with braces. They don't understand braces. They don't understand what they are, what they do, the legalities with them. They have absolutely no idea. So they don't feel that affects them one bit. They don't feel the need to comment. They don't feel the need to do anything different because it doesn't affect them, and that's no big deal. Again, this is a positive because that means that the average everyday person that has an issue with panic buying in this industry is not rushing into the gun shop to panic buy everything they possibly can. But the downside is that it really does shrink the group of people that is trying to fight this legislation, or I should say new ruling, not even legislation. It shrinks that group of people much, much more, so that the massive part of the gun community really doesn't even care about braces, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. I want to comment real quick here, or not comment, read your comments, sorry about that, and let's see what we got. I've seen like 15 guys get demonized by YouTube over the past couple days. I can tell you, I don't know what is going on with YouTube, but it is getting brutal. I'll be. How about this for straight up with you guys to show you the difference. the most that I ever made through monetization on YouTube, I'm not going to give you an exact number. The most that I ever made, I had 1 month where I was far less subscribers than this. And in 1 month, I had around the $700 area from ad money, right? Like ad revenue. That's huge. It comes nowhere near the amount of money that I spend making these videos, but you know, that's fine. That was incredible. That covered ammo. That was a big deal. Right now, roughly 10,000 subscribers more than that point in time. I should also mention that during that month, I also gained 1,600 plus subscribers in 1 month. In your analytics on YouTube, behind the scenes, it will show you your estimated revenue over the past 28 days, and it will also show your estimated subscriber increase over the past 28 days. So estimated subscriber increase was at 1,600 plus, and it was a little bit over around, you know, $700 for the amount made off revenue, monetization, the ads that are on YouTube. Again, incredible. Where am I at right now? Keep in mind of a few things. The video schedule has not changed. The content has not changed. And we have been growing. We have 10,000 more subscribers now. Now, on average, I believe right now I could check, and I think I am around $86 on monetization that I am getting for 1 month, $86. So from a little over, you know, $700 down to $86 after that large of a subscriber increase. And now, instead of 1,600 subscribers each month, I am gaining roughly 300 to show you the difference. And I want to be as candid as possible so that you guys know what it is looking like behind the scenes. That's it in a nutshell. And keep in mind, guys, that each and every video that I do is hundreds of dollars of ammunition, hundreds of dollars of product to buy and review, time that I'm taking away from my family, job, things like that. I still work a full-time job on top of this, so that gives you an idea of the difference. Now, the frustrating thing with YouTube, and you know, you had mentioned, I think it was Sean in the comments mentioned this, that 15 people have been demonized by YouTube in the past few days. With YouTube, this is what's so difficult and frustrating about being a firearms YouTube channel. You don't know, I don't know, a normal YouTube channel can look at their analytics and can look at those numbers and say, okay, I must be not doing something right because you guys, the subscribers, are not liking my content because those numbers have went down. The numbers are going down. It must be getting stagnant, blah, 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 blah. When it comes down to it, as a firearms channel, the issue is that I look at those numbers, right? I look at that sharp decrease in monetization. I look at the sharp decrease at subscriber loss, and I have to say, was that the channel? What was that people not liking my content? And if so, how do I fix that? But also, was that YouTube just simply demonetizing over half of my content, which they have done? I think I'm at pretty much at this point like 70% demonetization, soon to be probably nothing considering how far it's dropping every day at this point. And I'm sure what's going to end up happening is they're just going to, you know, cancel monetization entirely. And also the subscriber drop, is that, you know, just me or is it YouTube? And how much of it is either or? That's a big deal. That's a big problem because as a content creator here on YouTube, it is very difficult to judge your content accordingly after something like that happens. You don't know what direction to go in, and that is, you know, that's a big deal. You know, so who knows? You know, and I'll be honest with you guys, I could care less about the monetization. Is the added money from YouTube great to support the channel as far as ammunition and stuff like that? Yes, absolutely. But I would much rather build a large family here with the Firearm Freedom channel and just grow with the channel. But the frustrating thing is YouTube really makes it difficult to do that They make it incredibly difficult to do that. They make it incredibly difficult for you to figure out why. And it is what it is. If I'm dead in the water at almost 26,000 subscribers, so be it. I still have an awesome family here, and I'm not going to stop making content. It is incredibly expensive to make this content and to take this time to do this content. So that's where you guys coming in, sharing the videos around, sharing these live streams around to help. You guys hear me say it all the time. Defeat the YouTube algorithms is a very big deal. A very, very big deal. Commenting down below, liking the video, you guys are incredible. When you put 40 comments underneath the video shortly after it drops and it's multiple people and there's conversations going on, that video starts to defeat the YouTube algorithms. There's activity on that video and YouTube is essentially forced to start shoving the video out and about. So, I appreciate you guys a ton. That was a little bit of a tangent there randomly about YouTube stuff. But yeah, when you said that, it just kind of brought up something that I think a lot of people just don't really know, and what happens. Is there any company making steel frame, a steel frame for Glocks? Not that I'm aware of, and I don't know that it would work too well anyways. I don't know. Weights would be off, and that may or may not cause problems. It would be interesting to see, though. Do you recommend the HoloSun 503CU or the SIG Romeo 5? Brian, I would say that either or would still be a great option. The HoloSuns have been doing really well recently, and the SIG Romeo, which, if I'm not mistaken, HoloSun made SIG's optics for a while, also were good optics. So I wouldn't have an issue going with one or the other, quite frankly. I think people are caught up on ammo and not buying because of price. Sean, I think you're right. And let's be honest, a lot of the overprinted, inflated free money that we were getting, our money back basically, is kind of run dry, right? So everybody got their tax returns through, everybody got the stimulus checks that they were going to get. And I think now a lot of people have also kind of ran out of funds, extra funds to just be blowing on ammo. And here's the deal. When normal people get into a situation of panic, where normal people are looking outside and there is a riot breaking out outside, they are much more likely to go run into a gun shop and swipe their credit card for $1,000 worth of gun and ammo, right? Even though with ammo, that might be a few boxes nowadays. They're much more likely to do that. They're much more likely to not think twice and go buy all these things. Prepared food, bug out stuff, survival stuff, whatever. And then the moment that flip, man, I've been all over the place today from the range and then baking in the sun. I'm all over the place. But once that switch is flipped and there is no more panic, and they don't really feel that panic, all of a sudden all that energy and motivation to want to spend even an extra dime on that stuff goes out the window. And in fact, it's kind of the opposite. Now all of a sudden what starts to happen is they regret the purchase. They don't think they need it. And it's this reoccurring cycle that starts to happen. And that's just what generates more panic buying in the future. So I wish those people did not do that. And now would be a great time to train with the item that you bought, to practice, to go to the range, and to really immerse yourself in the industry under a much less stressful time. So what's the best thing to comment on for people who can't articulate? Sean, I would imagine you're talking about the frame, new proposed ruling about frames and different things like that. It really depends. What I personally would suggest commenting, we all know, and I still have not heard a clear-cut answer on exactly what this is going to do. I've heard a lot of YouTubers echo what other YouTubers are saying, but nobody really has an exact idea of actually what is going on. Even the people that think they know what's going on end the sentence with, that may be the case, or I believe it to be like that. But I don't think anybody actually has any idea of what is going on. So I would touch on that personally in the comment. I would talk about in the comment about how they are purposely making this so gray and arbitrary, and you needing to be a lawyer to figure out exactly what it is they're even trying to say. And something like this affects all of us as gun owners so greatly that they need to withdraw this and not put it forward because of how ridiculously arbitrary and gray this is. I think if we go out there and start trying to make comments that we don't believe 80% frames should have to be serialized, or that you should be able to still make your own firearms, they are going to fire back with, well, that's not what we were trying to say, because that's exactly what they want. They wrote this so arbitrary and gray to have exactly that happen. And what I'm talking about there is they want people to try to comment, and then because nobody really knows exactly what they mean in their legalese terms, they're going to comment back and say, well, we actually didn't mean that. And if you read subsection line 15A, this sentence here, it talks about that. Whereas if we start touching on how arbitrary, how gray it is, how tough it is to understand, that they can't argue, because it absolutely is all of those things. And you might have some ground to stand on there. Of course, they could bypass all of this stuff and just do it anyways. Who the hell knows what's going to happen at this point. But that, Sean, would be what I personally would say would be the best thing to comment. I've had the SIG Romeo 5 for over a year, never had to change the battery. It's great, stays true. I've heard that quite a bit. I have even a SIG MSR optic, and that optic has performed great as well. A little bit of a lower battery life, but still a great optic. Springfield makes an awesome steel frame Glock, but they also use a steel 1911 slide along with a 1911 frame. Yeah, so basically a 1911, right? Yeah, I don't think that there would ever be a company making a steel frame Glock. I don't see it happening. But you never know. I mean, who the hell knows what's going to happen anymore? SIG uses HoloSun diodes, or they used to. Unknown if they still are, but I wouldn't be surprised if they are. HoloSun is OEM for rack of companies using LED technology. Yeah, I've heard that quite a bit as well. Yeah, since July you've bought a ton of 6mm ARC, but not as much 9 and 5.56. And I think that's the same for a lot of people out there. I think a lot of people have really topped off what they want to do. Now, again, be warned that this is probably not the end, at all, and that things are very volatile, and this is probably the most fragile point in this industry's history, quite frankly. This is a point that we are at, that we are really deciding in the next few weeks here how we're going to move forward with this. If we continue to go on how we have been going this past month, a lot of good things are going to start happening. A lot of inventory is going to come back. A lot of prices are going to start slowly dropping down, in my opinion. Ammo may even start to trickle back in. Now, we are never going to see the prices that we once saw on ammo. That's just not going to happen. But reasonable prices we will probably see. I know because of cost of what we are paying for ammo in our shop, around what you're going to see an average price at as a low price. I would say 9mm, the average new price, right? Think about like apocalypse just happened. We walk outside to the fresh new world and things are different, right? Things are going to change. We just went through the apocalypse of ammo there, and this is the new normal of ammo. And I can tell you the lowest price that you're going to probably find a box of target ammunition for is between $17 and $20. That is going to be the new normal for 9mm brass target ammunition. $17 to $20, new normal. Will we ever see $10 to $12 again? I don't want to say never, but no time soon. Why? Because material prices have gone up, and also manufacturers have gotten the greed going. They know that they can make those prices without a doubt. They know that they can put out a $20 box of 9mm ammunition on the shelf, and people will not hesitate. I would say that if we keep going like this, the $40 boxes, $50 boxes of 9mm target are going to be long gone pretty quick, because the shops that are doing that are going to realize how fast that their price gouging schemes really didn't work out too well for them. So, those prices will drop. New normal, 17 to 20 bucks. 5.56 brass 5.56. I would say still it did not increase that much. I would say new normal is $11 to $12. $11 to $12 a box of 20 for 5.56. New normal. That is about as low as you're going to find it. Is like $10.99 a box. About as low as you're going to see it. Maybe $9.99. Maybe. So maybe $10. But, that's, again, as low as you're going to see it. 223, surprisingly about the same. Brass case 223, about the same. Even steel case, about the same. $9.99 a box. Will that come down anytime soon? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But at the moment, there really isn't that much of a difference in regards to pricing with 223 and 5.56. So, whatever you see and whatever you can get cheaper, great. 40 cal hasn't really changed too much. I would say new normal with 40 cal, maybe 20 bucks a box, give or take. 45 has shot up in price a lot. I don't know if it's going to come down, but the new normal that I'm seeing with 45 ACP ammunition for a box of target ammo is anywhere from $25 a box bare minimum to $28 a box. That's a very big increase. You used to be able to find steel case 45 for like $13 a box, brass for like 18, 19 bucks a box. Now tack on almost $8 more a box to that, and that is the lowest price that I've seen 45 out on the shelf at in the past few months. I don't think that's changing anytime soon. 308 has also gone through the roof. It is almost about $1 a round now, give or take. So again, those are new normal prices. Those are prices that I personally don't believe are going anywhere anytime soon. But yeah, who knows at this point. You guys have to remember that, again, I can see what distribution is charging for these guns, or for this ammo. Distribution is charging. Why is that important? That is important because that is what manufacturers are charging distribution. That's not what gun shops are jacking the prices up at. And I can tell you that at distribution prices, it is still much higher than it was. And that is because manufacturers are still jacking up that price because they know they can. Of course, in months to years to come, people not buying at the highest frequency, those prices will eventually slowly drop down a little bit. The question is, how far are they really going to bottom out? That I don't know that anybody knows yet. I really hope this new generation of gun owners can open their eyes to the cost of freedom. It will take united voting to protect our freedoms. The socialist agenda is very, very real and scary. Yeah, I would agree. The way I see it, why would I pay almost $1 a round for 5.56 when I can pay $1.25 or $1.50 for 6mm? Didn't make sense to buy 5.56. Sean, that's a great point. The new normal will be cheaper than 17 to 20 a box. That's the price I've been paying. It will go down more. The new normal 9mm will be 12 to 15 a box once everything levels out. Yeah, I don't disagree that once everything levels out, it will be that price. 17 to 20 is about what we've been charging at the gun shop that I work at. So there are places that are charging that. The reason why I tell you that that is the new normal is because I know our cost, and I know that that is the bare minimum above cost. The not normal is the $27, $28, $30, $40 a box for 9mm. Will that cost come down in the next few months, year, whatever? Who knows? It all really depends on what things go. You could be very right. Who knows? 2008 to 2016 ammo shortage caused 22LR and 9mm to almost double in price. 2017, 2019 prices did stabilize and drop. I think there's a chance that prices could drop once again. Yeah, I don't disagree at all. Again, the biggest issue with this is ATF, that stuff coming up. There's also a big issue with how fragile the community is right now with prices and availability. It only takes one more little panic buy craziness to throw everything by the wayside and everything gets crazy again. So it's important to talk to people you may know that might be, prone to panic buying is the nicest way that I can say that. And just talk to them and, be like, hey, this is, not the time to roll into the gun shops the moment you feel panic again, but it's actually the time now when there's not panic to start getting the things that you need to get and everything like that. JT, what's up, buddy? Cody, off topic, but you should give us a history lesson on the start of the Revolutionary War. You're a good speaker. Cody, I really appreciate that. I messed my words up quite a bit in order to give an actual history lesson, nor am I that knowledgeable on history, but history is one of my favorite subjects for sure. I do love the American Revolution and things like that. Who knows? Now, with the introduction of the Firearm Freedom podcast dropping soon, hopefully within a week, those suggestions are really awesome because I might be able to do an entire podcast episode just on the revolution, what happened, what started it, what my thoughts are, whatever. So stay tuned for that. I am also going to be getting a lot more active here on my community tab on YouTube, where you can see it mainly if you are scrolling on your phone, not so much the computer. And I'm going to get active on there asking you guys what topics you want to hear on the podcast, what things you want to be interested in, people that you want me to interview. Interviews are a lot easier on a podcast, so all those things are going to be pretty awesome. So stay tuned for that. Just bear with me. I've never done a podcast, so I'm working through trying to get it set up right now, trying to get my mics in order and everything like that. I really want to get off the start running here and try to get things going. Thoughts on 6.8 Western, wondering if eventually it will kick off in popularity, even though it has similar to ballistics to 270. Honestly, I have no experience with that caliber at all. 6.8 Western, no clue. The downfall with any brand new caliber right now is manufacturers are not putting their focus towards those new calibers. So it's really down to reloading if you can find components. They are putting all of their energy towards trying to get back on track for things like 9mm, 308, 5.56, 223, common defensive handgun calibers, 40, 45, things like that, 38 special. Whereas any new caliber, especially any new hunting caliber or distance caliber, they are just not putting energy into, in my opinion. They're just not doing it. So, I would always be a bit cautious on a brand new caliber in times like these. I tell the panic buyers that 45 ACP costs $200 a box. I'm making a lot of money. Yeah, don't be that guy. Don't be that guy, because there's a lot of people out there that will pay it. But yeah, not good. Not good at all. But yeah, I mean, as of this month, and it's really hard for me to say this, not knock on wood. I don't even have wood by me right now. Knock on wood that there is some light at the end of the tunnel. Will that change? God only knows. This community is so fragile. And yeah, that is what I am seeing at the gun shop that I work at as a sample size of one. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm also hearing reports of shops in more rural areas of Pennsylvania that there are a lot more availability, that there's a lot more availability of ammunition, that there's almost shelves full of ammo with 5-box limits per caliber and different things like that happening. So, always be aware of that. In more rural areas, these shops are going to get stuff in a lot more frequently than high traffic areas, obviously. And they may be the first ones to start really feeling a lot less stress when it comes to ammo and when it comes to getting things in. As a shop manager, are distributors able to get you guns again like they were pre-COVID? So I don't do a lot of the ordering, but I am, viewing a lot of the ordering take place. What I can tell you is that no, the ordering is nowhere near like it was pre-COVID, not even a little bit. We are still operating on a rep will call us. The rep says, I have these guns available, what do you want? And we choose out of that list. We have still not even gotten close to being able to call up a rep and being like, hey, we want to get X, Y, or Z gun. Can we get those guns? It doesn't work like that anymore. Will it work like that in a few months? Maybe. But right now, again, how ordering works, and I would say this is going to be the same with most gun shops all around the country, is a rep will call them and say, hey, how you doing? Such and such gun shop. I have 10 of these guns available. Which guns do you want? You can have those. They will be on the way. And the further down that list you are, that's not in good graces with your rep, the further down that call list that you're going to get, and now all of a sudden you're getting the call, I have 5 guns available, which one do you want? I have 3 guns available, which gun do you want? And that's just how it goes. So will that change anytime soon? Who the hell knows, honestly. I learned more about the Revolution playing Assassin's Creed than what high school taught me. Sounds stupid, but just being honest. There's nothing wrong with that, man, but I think, honestly, high school and really all school kind of lies half the time about historic information anyways. So, who the hell knows anymore? Yeah. Guys, I may end up ending this live stream a little bit early. That was all the topics that I had to hit. I don't want to keep rambling on. Jesus Christ, this day has been long. Rambling on about nothing, which I'm sure I will start doing. What caliber do you like for pistols? Zach, I still am a fan of 9mm. I own 9mm, 40, 45, 380, 9x18, 7.62 by 25. I don't know, a couple more, 25 ACP. Still, 9mm is my favorite caliber for pistols for all-around use. Defense, plinking at the range, whatever. 9mm is still going to be my favorite. Guys, if you have any other questions that I didn't hit on in this live stream, please put them down below in the comment section. It might take me a week to get back to you, but I will get back to you. I'll get back to each and every one of your comments. Please like the live, share it around with your friends. All that stuff really helps me out. I really appreciate it. Helps defeat that YouTube algorithm that I'm always talking about. And stay tuned for that Firearm Freedom podcast. Hopefully within about a week that's going to be dropping, and there will be a few episodes coming on there. I'm going to let you guys know the upload schedule on that platform when it drops, so stay tuned for that. Guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, stay tuned for more great videos to come soon.